On Musk's efforts to slash government spending. A federal judge today placing a hold on the Trump administration's offer to pay federal workers to resign their positions, an offer that was to expire tonight. The buyout's accepted by over 60,000 employees, according to a senior government official, but NBC News reporting the Trump administration is applying new pressure, now warning workers their jobs may be in jeopardy. Opposition to the billionaire's unprecedented access and authority, including to certain government systems, continues to swell, with protests across the country. Democrats ramping up their own pressure, decrying Musk and the hastily created office he runs as part of an illegal power grab. Republicans cheering the cost-cutting efforts as so many federal workers worry about their futures. Peter Alexander has details.
Tonight, just hours ahead of the White House deadline, a federal judge has paused the Trump administration from implementing its buyout program for all federal workers. That buyout offer, part of the president's campaign pledge to save taxpayer money by slashing the federal workforce. But labor unions went to court to block it, arguing it violated multiple laws. And now that judge has put the buyouts on hold until Monday. A senior administration official says more than 60,000 federal employees have accepted the offer. That represents more than 2% of the federal government's civilian workforce. Officials here previously said they expected 5 to 10% to take the buyout.
What President Trump and Elon Musk and this entire administration is trying to do is make our bloated bureaucracy here in Washington run like a profitable business.
And tonight, the Trump administration is ramping up pressure to take the buyout. An email to all eligible federal workers obtained by NBC News warns those who do not could lose their jobs. Reading in part, "At this time, we cannot give you full assurance regarding the certainty of your position." The president today touting progress on his pledge to slash spending.
We got rid of Wilk over the last 2 weeks.
And praising Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency, including its effort to dismantle USAID that distributes billions of dollars in foreign aid.
They can't believe they're getting caught. And I have great respect for the people that are doing it. Elon Musk is helping us on it, and he's pretty good.
Tonight, the Washington Post reports DOJ employees have gained access to highly restricted government records on millions of federal employees, including Treasury and State Department officials in sensitive security positions, according to 4 U.S. officials with knowledge of the developments. And the White House confirms a DOJ staffer approved by a federal judge to access Treasury Department payment systems has resigned after the Wall Street Journal asked about his links to a deleted social media account that advocated for racism and eugenics. Meanwhile, federal workers tonight are in limbo. Alfonso McCree accepted the buyout offer.
The timing couldn't have been any better, but there was also that concern of like, well, this is kind of weird. Is this actually legal?
While Holly, who asked we don't use her last name, did not.
Well, I'm glad I didn't take the buyout at all. I don't trust that the administration will keep their promise.
Meanwhile, Musk's X profile now reads White House tech support, and Democrats are slamming his effort to downsize the federal government as illegal.
What we are seeing unfold is an unlawful power grab by a unelected and unaccountable billionaire puppet master who's pulling the strings of House Republicans and apparently the Trump administration.
But Republicans are applauding Musk's cost-cutting mission.
I think it's very popular with the American people. Trump derangement syndrome is a virus that the Democrats have had for 4 years. It appears that that virus has mutated into Musk derangement syndrome now.
Peter, if we can turn back to the USAID, the agency that provides foreign aid, you've got some new reporting about major cuts there.
Lester, the Trump administration is expected to reduce the ranks of USAID to roughly 290 workers out of more than 5,000 foreign service officers, civil servants, and contractors currently employed there. That's according to people familiar with the plans. The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, Lester, says they are not trying to be punitive, but are trying to align the agency with America's national interests.
Peter Alexander, thank you. The backlash is mounting after President Trump floated a controversial proposal to take over Gaza. The president tonight saying he would not send in American troops as part of that rebuilding plan. Here's Kelly O'Donnell.
New fallout on President Trump's abrupt aspiration for an American-led renovation of Gaza.
We're going to take over that piece and we're going to develop it.
While the president did discuss the Middle East on camera today, he chose to use social media to outline his controversial plan, declaring the Gaza Strip would be turned over to the United States by Israel at the conclusion of fighting, so that the U.S. and development teams from all over the world could build what he called spectacular developments. Met with swift criticism from Republicans for leaving open the door to sending U.S. troops.
It would seem to me to be an inappropriate use of U.S. troops.
Today, the president writing, no soldiers by the U.S. would be needed.
He will not be sending boots on the ground. He also has made it clear that American taxpayers will not be funding this effort.
The suggestion of U.S. troops also rejected by visiting Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Mr. Netanyahu, do you think are needed in Gaza?
Are we in? No.
But the president's Gaza plan dismissed by many Middle East countries who insist Palestinians should be able to remain in Gaza. Today, the president acknowledged the fragile ceasefire deal with Hamas to release hostages.
We have more hostages to come, and we hope they live up to their word.
An emotional Aviva Siegel, a former hostage, just welcomed home her American husband, Keith.
It's difficult for me to think that he was there so many days without me. And there were so many moments that he needed me to be with him. And I wasn't there.
President Trump is expected to meet with one of the regional leaders who rejected his plan. Jordan's King Abdullah is due here next week. Lester?
Kelly O'Donnell, thank you. The weather has been a mess for tens of millions across the country. 20 states socked in earlier today by a dangerous mix of snow, sleet, and rain. There were whiteout conditions in Michigan and flash floods in hard-hit Charleston, West Virginia, where they got more than 3 inches of rain in just a few hours. Al Roker joins me now. Al, this is the story